Hello, my name is Carrie Samuels. I am your intuitive counselor and happiness coach, and I am so excited for what we're going to share today. I'm going to share with you how to make your dreams come true. The 4 essential steps you need to do to manifest your heart's desires. Now, I need to tell you, I teach manifesting a lot different than a lot of people because most of what I see out there, I think just gets people into a lot of trouble and a lot of traps. And then you're doing all the vision boards and you're doing everything that you think you need to do. And then you're like, why is nothing happening? Why am I stuck on this? Do I have a block? Like, what is this? So what I want to share with you today is every step that you need to take, because if you miss any one of these, it's going to trip you up. And the other thing I want to share about how this is a little different than the other manifesting techniques you may know, or law of attraction, I tend to disagree with a lot of the way it's taught, not just because it doesn't always work, but because it's sometimes like a spiritual materialism. And let me explain what I mean by that. A lot of times people are taught to attract or manifest material things. And it's not to say that manifesting material things isn't wonderful and can feel great. However, as you know, that's not going to make you happy in and of itself. And the other thing is, your soul wants certain experiences for you, and you were born for a reason. You were born to express your gifts, and you were born to learn certain spiritual lessons. And your soul is going to direct you. Your soul is going to direct you toward doing that, and your intuition is going to guide you toward manifesting your soul's purpose and learning your spiritual lessons. And so sometimes what we're taught to manifest, or what you can be trying to manifest, is something that the ego wants rather than something that the soul wants. So before we get into these 4 steps, I want to briefly explain the difference. So your soul is always wanting you to express your deepest desires and the gifts that you have accumulated over many, many lifetimes. And first of all, that can bring up a lot of fears. So you can try to manifest something that you think is like a stopgap measure, or you think is something that's going to maybe be a more safe choice than what it is that you're ultimately meant to do. And like I said, your intuition is always going to be guiding you. So you can have ego desires that you think you want. And ego doesn't mean like selfish or conceited. Ego can be anything that's not completely in alignment with your soul. It's not just material things. I'll give you an example. So as many of you know, I am a psychic and an energy healer. And for many, many years, I did one-on-one readings. Now, my heart's desire is to teach, and I manifested that. How awesome is that? So, but for many years, I mean, my heart's desire is also to do readings with people, yet I feel there was a bigger purpose for me, which was to teach more and more people. And I hope that you get to benefit from that. So I would often see people that, let's say I had a client that wanted to be an energy healer, and that was their passion. And they had like these really unique gifts. And let's say, for example, they would think, well, nobody's going to like or accept that form of my gifts. So what I'm going to do is go to massage therapy school, become a massage therapist, spend years building up my clientele as a massage therapist, and then maybe sneak it in there that I do energy healing. So that is like a long way around, right? So you could be having, like, let's say you're that person, and you could be having these intentions that like, oh, I want to build my massage practice, or I want to find the right school, when really your ultimate desire, your ultimate gifts, and your ultimate dream. You're given that dream because that's what you're born to do. So it's like taking a very circuitous route. That's what I mean. Like the ego isn't always like conceited or greedy. It may just be out of fear that you're afraid to ask or want what you really want. You're afraid of it because you think, well, there's no place for it, or that's impossible. So before we start out with these 4 steps, I want to encourage you to dream big and dream from your heart. Your heart is what is connecting spirit and matter. Your heart is that intermediary. And, you know, when I was doing readings for people, let's say there are people who were very tuned in and like they had vision boards and they did all these things. I would clairvoyantly see, I would sometimes see an image of these people who are vision board people. I would sometimes see images of them like even meditating or whatever, but like pictures moving around their mind as just like a visualization, but it was never in their heart. So that's how my guides would clairvoyantly show me that someone was visualizing something that wasn't connected to their heart. And I want to explain something to you. Your spirit guides and your angels and your divine team is always communicating with you, teaching you, showing you what your next steps are. They're showing you where you're meant to go, and they are guiding you toward expressing those greatest gifts that are inside of you, as well as your spiritual lessons. They're always guiding you. That's why they're called spirit guides, right? So when you're given a dream, when you're given a heart's desire, you know that image that won't go away of you doing something or experiencing something. When you have that, or when you have a really, really strong desire, that's because that is something inside of you. That's an intuition telling you that that's what you need to pursue. So don't take a safe route. I mean, of course, be, you know, what do you call that? Not an educated risk, like a calculated risk, right? So take calculated risks, right? Like, but take those risks, because if you have a desire in your heart or a dream that's inside of you, it's given to you by spirit, telling you, this is where we're taking you. This is where you're headed. Don't give up on that. And don't take these routes that are going to take you to other places that you think are safer, because it's actually more safe for you to do what's in your heart. And this is when the law of attraction really works. When you're in alignment with your soul's purpose, when you're doing what you were born to do, that's when the doors open for you. And when you are doing something that isn't really what's best for you, or you think it is, but it's not really the route to take, this is when they say rejection is God's protection, because this is the universe's way of, it's like, you know, that game Marco Polo, like hotter, warmer, colder, right? It's just the universe talking to you in a fun and delightful way. It may be confusing at the time, yet I want to remind you that if you're coming against closed doors, it's because you're not really giving into your dream. You're not really allowing it and taking those steps to make it happen. So that's when the law of attraction works for you, is when you're doing what you're born to do, and what that dream is that your guides are showing you through your energy, through your heart, through those images and those feelings. That's a gift. And that's a gift of like showing you where you're meant to be. So believe in yourself and believe in your dreams, because your guides and angels and celestial support team is with you making it happen. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been given that dream. Okay? And it doesn't matter if it's a soulmate, a home, an experience, whatever that is, you're meant to have it if you want it in some form. And it may take a form different than what you think you want, yet in pursuing it, in taking those steps toward that dream, Even if you change your mind, and you might be changing your mind right now about what you thought your dreams were, I can almost guarantee you are, because that's what the creative process is. It's kind of messy. It's like, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try this, and I'm going to feel my way through it. So feel your way through your experiences. Don't just like have this idea in your head about what you think you want. You have to constantly be tuning into your heart to ask yourself, does this feel right? Am I still enjoying this? Is the universe still showing me that I'm on the right path? So pay attention. Pay attention to your body, pay attention to your heart, pay attention to the clues around you. So, with that being said, I'd like to share with you these 4 essential steps. Now, what we're going to do now, I'm not going to be, I'm going to show you what they are. That I will be doing. I am going to be showing you what they are. What I'm not going to be doing is like taking the time for you to go through all of these. Some of these take like some meditation or reflection, some time for you to visualize or experience. So you'll know what I mean when we do these. So I encourage you, if you find these helpful, to go back. You can write them down and then do these explorations, these actions in your own time. So let's go through them right now. So the first step toward manifesting your heart's desire, or actually before the first step, you know what? Getting ready to manifest your heart's desire. Let's just do this. You have to be in your heart. Again, it's not a mental process. This isn't about what you think you want. So to make sure you're manifesting your heart's desire, get into your heart. So we can do that together right now, okay? So close your eyes, unless you're driving. Close your eyes. And ground your energy to the earth. That's right. You can feel a grounding cord from the base of your spine anchor into the core of the earth, and you can feel roots that sink deep into the earth from your feet. You are connected to the earth. And the earth is the manifestation plane. So it's always very important to be connected to the earth. Now bring your mind into your heart. Imagine that your heart is your mind. Your heart has your consciousness. So really feel the energy in your heart. Feel your heart. So bring your awareness there. And as you do, ask yourself, what do I really, really want? You may have one particular area that you want to focus on. So really get into your heart as you ask yourself, what do I really want? Okay, now that you are in your heart, we can focus on the 4 steps. And again, this, you can ask about one thing or just in general. You can ask about a feeling you want to experience. Maybe you want to focus on health so that you want to feel vibrant and radiant and healthy and flexible and strong. Maybe you want a soulmate so that you have someone to share all your love with. Maybe you want your dream home so that you can really feel expansive and safe and protected. So as you go into your heart and you ask yourself what you want, ask yourself what you want to feel when you do that. These are some preliminary steps before our 4 steps. They're very important. So now that you know what you want, now that you're really focusing on your heart's desire, not your brain desire, but your heart's desire, right? So the first step, now again, you may want to go back to these and really explore them at length, right? We could be here for a long time if we do this together in real time, but I want to make sure you have these. The first step is to imagine it. Now, looking at something on a vision board definitely helps you imagine it, but it's really, really helpful to actively get your third eye, your imagination, your right brain involved. Because if you imagine it, you can create it. Now, the one thing I've learned too from doing so many readings, thousands of readings, is that if you can't imagine it, sometimes you can say like, oh, I can't imagine having a soulmate, or I can't imagine like having a job that I love because you're so far away from it. Well, first of all, change your language about that. Now, from doing readings, one of the things I realized is sometimes if you really can't picture something, then it may be sometimes not meant to happen. And that's something you want to explore what it is that you can conjure that does give you something for your imagination to delight in. You really want to delight in your imagination about this. And when you imagine something, don't be realistic, you want real life things in there. You want to imagine what you hear and what you see and what you taste. Like I am very oral, I'm very clairaudient, which means I have like super sensitive ears, like an inner ear, psychic ear. And when I imagine something, I hear it even more than I see it sometimes. And like if I'm imagining my home, I can hear water, right? Like a water fountain and chimes and birds singing. Like to me, that is delightful, right? And that really, like, let's say you're imagining yourself on a date with your soulmate or whatever. Maybe you visualize yourself on a beach or in a restaurant and you can hear the waves, you can smell, well, not if you're in a restaurant, but if let's say you're on the beach, right? Like you can smell the ocean, you can hear the seagulls, you can hear people laughing in the background, you can feel what that's like on your face. As you're imagining it, bring in as many senses as you can and delight in it. If it's not delightful for you, either you are limiting yourself in some ways, or it's not the right thing for you. It's not the right choice for you. So this is where we get to play around with exploring, play around with your imagination. If you can imagine it, you can create it. So don't allow yourself not to imagine what you really, 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 really want. Some people think, oh, I don't even want to think about what I really want because I can't have it. I mean, come on. That way you're limiting yourself. So imagine it in such a way that you are delighting in it. So that is step one. Okay. Step two is to feel it. Okay. So when you're imagining, what you can do is you can imagine this. So instead of imagining it as if it's some kind of future, when you imagine it as if it's happening right now, because your body doesn't know the difference between memory, imagination, and or any of that, right? So if you're imagining something or thinking about something, it actually thinks it's the present moment. That's why you shouldn't dwell on your past so much. You can heal your past, but you don't want to dwell on it because you don't want to bring up those feelings. So anytime you're imagining something, you're feeling something. And this is actually how the law of attraction is most effective. It's not thinking. And a lot of what the angels, the archangels have taught me about manifesting the life you desire, if you raise your energy to the vibration of love, you manifest everything that you desire. So you can manifest people in your life that adore you and that you love, and you can manifest abundance and prosperity and happiness because you're raising your energy to the vibration of love. So you always want to feel good feelings. So for instance, if you're let's say you're not even imagining something, let's say you're working on your career, and in the process you're frustrated, you're anxious, you're angry, you're whatever it is, you're stressed the whole time. That's the energy that you're bringing into the future. So if you're trying to create a career where you have more ease and flow and joy, and you're stressing every moment of the way, well, those cumulative present moments are what you're doing to create the future. So you want to feel what you want to feel as you're creating it, if that makes sense. So like your present, you can conjure up feelings, feel good feelings, just by imagining something. And the more you imagine something, and the more you create feel-good feelings in every day of your life, that's when you create the future that you want. So it's really about raising your vibration every single day. As you find yourself dipping into lower emotions or vibrations, really lift yourself into, change the channel, like breathe love into your energy field. You can call upon your angels to lift your spirit. You can do a meditation. You can change your thoughts so that you're not dwelling on something. Whatever that is, change the channel so you're feeling good, right? So in this process where you're imagining your potential future, you want to imagine it as if you're experiencing it right now. And the most important thing is to feel what you're feeling. So as you're imagining it, you can say out loud even, I feel exuberant. I feel joyful. I feel loved. I feel appreciated. Whatever that is that you want, feel it. And if you're not feeling it, don't strain. Just drop into your heart and ask for the energy of that emotion that you want to feel. That's more important than anything. Right there is feeling it, creating those feel-good feelings, because it's your aura. That goes into your aura. It's not just in your brain right here. That goes into your energy field, that pulses out to the universe, and that comes right back to you. That's how you send messages to the universe, because when you think of something, you're feeling it, and it's your feelings. So make sure you're feeling as you're experiencing, and you're feeling feel-good feelings. So as you're experiencing that, you can say, I am, or I feel in the present moment, and make sure you're doing that. Now, a lot of times when people do that, they say what they don't want to feel anymore. They say something like, I don't feel stressed, or I don't feel this. Instead of what you don't want to feel, really, really, really focus on what you want to feel. You want to feel, right? And then say that in the present moment. So instead of saying, I don't feel stressed, you say, I feel relaxed. I feel at ease. Do you feel the difference in those two energies? So in the present moment, and then your body really believes that is your reality right now. And guess what? Then it is. And you can create those feel-good feelings anytime. So you want to align to those feel-good feelings all the time. Once you recognize what those are, you want to conjure those as much as possible. And then when you feel you're shifting from those feelings, find a way to align with those again. It's all about the feelings. You want to pulse those out into the universe. Okay. So now that you can see what it is that you desire and experiencing it and feel the feelings and align with those feelings, the third step is to take inspired action. Now, I say inspired because you want to take action that aligns with your highest vision. Again, remember I told you about that, person that wants to be an energy healer, and they like make all these decisions to align with like the safer choice to get to what they really want? Ask your guides, ask your higher self, ask your heart, what one step can I take today to get me closer to that goal? You don't need to know how to get from A to Z. Journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step beneath your feet, right? Just one step toward that vision, and make sure you're aligning your feelings with that as you're taking those actions. And you have to take action. Now, I want to remind you, what you are meant to do that will give you your heart's desire is often going to bring up the biggest fears in you. That's part of life's process. And if you weren't afraid, then you already have that manifested, right? So the process of taking you toward your goals and your intentions is actually healing in a big way. It's stretching you, it's expanding you. That's really prosperity, right? The more expansive you can be and experience life, then you expand every area of your life. How joyful is that? So take inspired action toward where you want to go. Just a little bit if you want, every single day. I'm doing these Facebook Lives here with you now. This is not a natural fit for an introvert. I love sharing this information with you. Yet, it's just that, you know, we're humans, right? So it's like, but the more I do it now, when I come on here with you, I'm so excited, right? Instead of being like nervous about the technology or how everything's going to come out of my mouth or whatever, and it becomes joyful. But I had to move through something to get here. And then by doing so, I get to share my heart's desires with you and fulfill my life purpose. And whenever you're doing that, you are uplifting and inspiring everyone around you because you're sharing your light. It's going to be scary, some of the steps you take, but please, please take a chance on yourself. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you get, and then you'll feel joy from doing this. And I'm so proud of you already, because I know you're going to do this. And you know what? Write down below in the comments below one step that you're going to take toward your vision, toward your dreams. Write it down so we can all support each other. Okay, now the fourth step, and this is probably the most overlooked step, and it is so important. You can imagine, you can visualize, you can do all this, and oftentimes you don't expect it. So the fourth step is to expect it. So I want you to ask yourself, really go into your body and tune into your body. You'll see I do this almost all the time. Like whenever I'm sharing something like this, I always ask you to drop into your heart and talk to your body. So ask yourself, what do I expect to happen? I know what I want to happen. What do I expect to happen? Because if you haven't experienced something, let's say, you know, you're wanting your soulmate, your heart's desire is to have your soulmate, but you've had disappointments in love, you'll most likely expect disappointments in love. Now, of course, the visualization process with the feeling process is going to change those neural networks, which is wonderful. Yet the more conscious you can be about this, the easier it is to manifest, right? So ask yourself, what do I expect? And notice if there's fear, like something clenches in your body. Notice what happens to you. So notice anything in your body when you say that to yourself, and simply any tension, just breathe light into it and let it go. Okay? And as you do that, say to yourself, I expect. So let's say you're promoting a product or service. I expect people to love what I'm doing. I expect to have abundance. I expect to be respected, to find people who love me, to find that special person, whatever it is, I expect it. I know it's here. So that one shift will change everything for you. And that is the one thing that I've seen most people really don't pay attention to, and that can often be the thing that trips you up. So I know that if you practice these 4 steps, they're simple. And if you practice these, you do these, your life can and will change dramatically. So I hope I've helped you. Now, I have so many more resources for you that I'm going to be sharing throughout the year. So make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. Make sure you're subscribed to my newsletter, because I have so much to share with you. You can find that at carriesamuels.com. So make sure you're signed up with me, because we're just getting started here. There's so much more I want to share with you. And also, in the month of February, if you're someone that has a dream in your heart to have a successful business, a prosperous business, that you're really doing something from the heart, you're a heart-centered business owner, or you don't even recognize you're a business owner yet, but you have a service or something that you want to share with the world. Now, remember, during the month of February, that's when Marie Forleo is opening her doors to B School. And if you're listening to this in February, I encourage you, if you are one of those people, I am a proud affiliate, so I am offering an amazing bonus package where I get to mentor you as your intuitive business coach and your B School fairy godmother. So I'll put information about that below. Really, if that's something that you want, really go for your dreams. I'd love to help you. And Marie Forleo's program has completely changed my life. It was one of the best investments I have ever made in my life. And I would love to help you really live your dreams. So, and again, that's only available during February. If you're listening to this after that, we've got plenty more for you. So make sure that you're signed up at carriesamuels.com. I'd love to hear your comments about this below. I love you so much. I'm so grateful that I get to live my dreams by sharing this with you. I love you, and I will talk to you again soon.